So Mrs. King and I decided to find a more comfortable place to make our videos, so we decided to go outside today. So this one is on dividing fractions and whole numbers. So go ahead and get your notes page set up. We have the same learning target, 6NS1, same thing we had for multiplying. They all kind of follow under the same one. But our goal today is I can divide fractions and whole numbers. So when you're ready, go on to the next part.
Okay, we have a vocabulary word for you guys to write down today. It is called reciprocal. So the reciprocal of a number, we need you to write that down and then write down everything that's in that box. Two numbers whose product is 1. They are the upside down versions of each other. So go ahead and get it down. So if we have 3 8s, the reciprocal is going to be 8 over 3. The denominator is going to go up to the numerator, and the numerator is going to go down to the denominator. So 3 8s, the reciprocal is 8 thirds, because 3 times 8 is 24, and 8 times 3 is 24, and 24 divided by 24 is 1.
All right, so let's put that down in written form. So we're going to write down this part down at the bottom to find the reciprocal of a fraction. Flip the fraction upside down. That means you're going to switch the numerator and the denominator of your fraction. You're just going to flip that fraction upside down.
So go ahead, write down these 4 examples, and press pause. See if you can flip the numerator and the denominator over and come up with the reciprocal of these fractions. Press pause and we'll see how you do. Alright, so 1/7, the reciprocal would therefore be 7, or 7 over 1. 2/5, the reciprocal is going to be 5 over 2. The reciprocal of 2 thirds is 3 halves. And don't forget to put that invisible 1 underneath your whole number and make it 4 over 1, because when you flip that one, it becomes 1/4. Did you get them right, or did you get stuck on that last one?
No, it was a tricky one. Now we're going to put it to use. So for dividing fractions, here's our rule. We're not going to divide fractions. What we're going to do is we're going to change all of our problems into multiplying by the reciprocal of our number. So we don't have to worry about dividing, we're just going to rewrite it as a multiplication problem. So before we get started, get all of these steps written down into your notes, and then we're going to put them to use. So our first step is, first fraction stays the same. Then we're going to flip the second fraction, meaning we're going to find its reciprocal. We're going to change the division to multiplication, and then do the same thing we've done for the last week. We're going to go ahead and multiply our fractions together. So here's what it looks like as we rewrite the problem. First fraction, our 1/2, notice it stays the same. Nothing changed about it, other than a really ugly box around it.
Don't touch it.
The dividing becomes multiplication, and we flip the second fraction. We make it its reciprocal. So 1/2 divided by 3 halves is now 1/2 times 2 thirds. Now we go ahead and do our multiplying. 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6, and then we simplify, and we get 1/3. If you wanted to, before you multiplied, you could have done your cross simplifying. The 2's can each be divided by 2, and it simplifies down to give us our 1/3. So it really just becomes a multiplication problem when we're done.
So let's try some of these examples together. Go ahead and write down the 1/8 divided by 1/2 for example 1. Draw that box around that 1/8. Don't touch it, don't flip it, leave it alone. So 1/8 stays 1/8. Change your division sign to a multiplication sign and flip that 1/2 so that reads 2 over 1. Okay, now we're ready to cross simplify and proceed how we did the last couple of lessons. 8 divided by 2 is going to give us a 4, so we're crossing off the 8 and we're making it a 4, and 2 divided by 2 is going to result in a 1. Top times top gives us 1, and bottom times bottom gives us 4. So 1/8 divided by 1/2 is 1/4. Do you think they know why they don't flip the first fraction?
I don't know. Tell us.
No, you tell them. It's your problem.
Remember, that first fraction is telling you how much of something you have. So you have 1/8 of a pizza. If you flip that one around, it changes how much you actually have. You can't go from 1/8 of a pizza to having 8 pizzas. That's not the same thing. So that first fraction in our second one has to stay the same. You have 3/4 of something. We want to divide it by 9/10. So first fraction stays the same, 3/4. But we talked about, instead of dividing, now we're going to multiply.
By the upside down.
And we're going to flip the second fraction. So instead of dividing by one number, we're going to multiply by its reciprocal. Now we're ready to do our cross simplifying. 3 and 9 can both be divided by 3. So I get a 1 and a 3. 4 and 10 can both be divided by 2. So I divide each of those and get 5 and 2. And then when I'm done, I go ahead and multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 3 is 6. So I get an answer of 5/6.
Example number 3. We're going to go ahead and leave 12/25 as 12/25. Change your division sign to multiplication and use the 20/18 as your second fraction. And then we've got a doozies of simplifying. Look for those common factors. What goes into 12 and 18? And yes, you can do 2, but please go higher and do 6. I guess it could be 3 too, couldn't they? All right, 18 divided by 6 is 3, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. And then look at the other diagonal. We have a common factor of 5, so we're dividing that diagonal by 5. The 20 is going to change to a 4, and the 25 is going to change to a 5. And we're left with top times top giving us 8, and 5 times 3 giving us 15, a simplified fraction of 8/15.
Now, some of you are going to try to be cool, and you're just going to try to write over top of the problem.
Don't do it. It drives me crazy. I can't read it.
And you end up not being able to read it. You end up losing numbers in the process. Take 10 seconds. Mrs. King will be okay. She's avoiding the B. But take that 10 seconds, rewrite a clean version of the problem. You'll make a lot fewer mistakes than trying to scribble on top of it.
Not allowed in my class anyhow.
All right, last one. Now we're going to put it to use in a story problem.
Ramon.
Please write down the whole story problem, not just the work. Otherwise, the work won't make any sense when you go back to review it later because you have no idea where the numbers came from.
This is kind of tricky.
So this one says, Ramon is making party favors. He is dividing 3/4 pound of almonds into 12 packages. We're going to write and solve an equation. Don't let that scare you. It just means write it as a problem so we can solve it to find out how much goes in each package. Now, you're going to be very tempted to try to go, oh, 12 divided by 3/4.
Good try.
No. You have to stop and ask yourself at the beginning of the problem, which number represents how much I have? Remember that first fraction is how much materials do you have? We have 3/4 of a pound, so that has to go first. We want to divide it into 12 packages.
Equal groups.
Now, here's where you have to be careful. What do we have to do with that 12, Mrs. King?
We need to put a 1 underneath it so that it has a numerator and a denominator so that we can flip it.
Now we're ready to rewrite the problem. First fraction stays the same, 3/4.
Can't change the quantity.
Dividing becomes multiplying, but now that we wrote 12 as a fraction, we can flip it. It becomes 1/12. So dividing something into 12 parts is the same thing as multiplying times 1/12.
So then he's going to simplify that diagonal and divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And he is left with 1/16 of a pound of almonds in each package.
Now, that's a very small amount, but think about it. You only had 3/4 of a pound, so you have less than 1 whole pound, and you chopped it up into 12 little bitty pieces. So it makes sense that each piece is going to be rather small in this case, because you're going to take a small amount and break it up into even smaller little pieces.
Okay, be ready to practice.